Hello there. Can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you perfectly. What about you?
I'm seeing your logo, FB.
Mhm.
Just let it start up.
Anyway, there. How are you today? Tell me.
I'm doing fine. Was preparing for this podcast, going through all the questions, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, me too. Thank you for coming. Perfect. And there could be. Have you any questions or comment before we start this podcast? For me, from the organizational point of view.
No, not really. You asked what my goal was, and that's just to spread the rumor around our brand and maybe provide a link for the people who want to buy the book later next month, and have a link for that. If you, I'll put it in your LinkedIn message.
Thank you very much. I will support you as much as I can in this venue, and let's get started.
Yeah, let's go.
Can you, Benno, can you introduce yourself, please, to us, to our listeners?
Yes. Now, my name is Benno Pieters. I've been an entrepreneur since 2001, and before that, I worked for American multinationals. Started my career in 1980 when I left college. I was then a mechanical engineer. Later on in life, I did an MBA in business process re-engineering and finance and all those things. So 2001, I became an entrepreneur, and basically what I did then, I applied all my knowledge I had before into creating, let's say, standard processes, business processes for marketing and sales. That was my first. My first company was a sales consultancy with standardized processes for doing your marketing and your sales.
Thank you. Perfect. And what do you do now? What projects are you working on at this moment? Can you share with us a little bit more?
Yes, thanks for asking. I've just started up a year ago a new company together with Dr. Shukovek Tapli, and we're now an European AI consultancy. And our aim is to get as many people as possible to get acquainted with AI. We have training for that and master classes, and we support companies to prepare themselves for AI, by looking at their business processes and how to prepare that for AI, because once they apply that, their productivity will increase exponentially. And when you increase your productivity by those factors, you really have to prepare for that. So that's basically what we do. We've done. We've written a book called AI and ROI. So how can you earn money with AI? And it goes in on the different ways you can use AI to do your business.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you for sharing with us. I am happy to be here with you, and I would like to also thank our people who are listening. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions for Benno or for me, please write under this video. We will be happy to answer every question.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
I would like to go a little bit deeper. Can
Yeah.
you reveal some big successes from your past or achievements a little bit so we can understand more deeper what is the project about?
Well, I first started my career with a Dutch multinational called Boskalis, and it was in the early days of IT. And at that time, I was one of the lucky guys who knew how to program simple calculations, but which were done by hand in those times. So I was basically at an engineering company, and we had to do many calculations for the stability of the equipment and the material they were using offshore. And so when I just started, I looked over the shoulder of the, let's say, more senior engineers, and I saw that they were using their calculators to do some, let's say, semi-complex calculations for the stability of cranes sitting on top of platforms and all those type of things. And I looked at it and I saw all kinds of sines and cosines and tangent. And so I said to the engineer, why don't you write a little program for that? And he looked up at me in astonishment. He says, can you do that? So I said, yes. And so a couple of weeks later, I had a program that calculated the ability of those cranes in a matter of minutes. And normally, one situation in creating a calculation takes a whole day. So that was when I made it. As a young guy, made a big impact without realizing it. It was such a big impact. And later on, I got interested into AI at that time. That was the 80s, middle of the 80s. And that's when I crossed over to American multinationals in IT. And basically, it was a hardware company who was acquiring software. And at the same time, I got interested in AI. But at those times, the computers were not strong enough. So what I did was take the knowledge of that time, and it was a hobby. So I did some programming in Lisp and Prolog and the languages of those computer languages those times. But in the end, I wrote two expert system programs, and I added fuzzy logic to them, so that made them kind of semi-artificial intelligence. And the first one I created predicted the weather, and it did it quite well, up to 70% accuracy. And I was quite pleased with myself. And I thought, well, if I can predict a chaotic system like the weather, maybe I can do a chaotic system like the stock market. So I applied it to the stock market on just specific indices, and after a couple of months, I got it to predict the stock market, and it was also reasonably accurate, between 65 and 70%. And with fudge logic, and the result was every time the stock market will have, or the index will have achieved a level of plus 5% or minus 5% or more or less. It stayed the same. That was the prediction. And at that time, we didn't have online data, so you had to get all the data from newspapers and articles and feed them in. Well, that became quite successful. I started building up my own portfolio, and I was building up, and until the crash of '87, my model could not predict the crashes. So I built up around, I think it was 96,000 guilders. Guilders in those days, you cannot compare them with euros now in value. And the crash happened, and it went down to minus 30. And I got a call from the bank saying, hey, Mr. Pieters, do you know there has been a crash? Now, in those days, we did not have internet, so news was always delayed. I said, yes, I'm aware of it. And he was calling, he wanted me to improve my margin. So I got a margin call. It was my first margin call in my career. Well, in the end, I managed to use the system to recover. And when I recovered, I closed it off because my career took off, and I had to spend time on that. And I just got a kid, and so I didn't have the time anymore to pursue that, but always remained interested. And later on, another big success was in marketing and sales with the IT company. We were selling CAD systems, CD. CAD meant in those days computer-aided design. So as an engineer, you want to speed up your designs, and we used a computer on that. And in those days, it was just like magic, because all of a sudden you had your 2D drawing projected into 3D, and you could turn it around and kind of walk around it. It's almost magic in those days, because graphics was still in its infancy, and the company I was working for made its own graphics cards in order to be able to do that. So we sold those systems to the Dutch Navy, to Philips Electronics Worldwide. We built a system for aircraft maintenance for the KLM, and yeah, those were the names in those days. And a big name these days, which then was a very small name, was ASML. And ASML is the company that builds machines to build chips, or to create chips, computer chips. And in those days, they had about 18% market share, and now they have almost 20% market share, and they've become of strategic value. Well, I always imagined that I made a very small contribution, and I pat myself on the shoulder that we helped them do that. So those were my early achievements. Later on, I started my own company. Was a sales company, sales consultancy. We help people improve the sales, especially IT companies, because that's where I came from, and some others. And in the end, we grew. We also had people phoning for us. We employed them, so we were kind of an outbound calling agency, and we grew up to 30 people. And then I thought, I don't like managing so many people anymore. So we reduced it to 12 and had a small team and a lot of fun. Until the great financial crisis, everything went down. We had to fire people. Because of my MBA past, I was able to do that. You have to do it very in a good way, and then you give the people the most chance on the market. And but that meant we had to do something else. So my business partner and I always work with a business partner because of my personality, and we decided to look into social media. Now we're talking about 2009. Well, could social media help in marketing and sales? And we said, well, what do salespeople want? They want the people to come to them instead of them going to the people, to the customers. So we investigated, and we said, well, what if you become a brand? So people come to you because you're a brand. So we wrote a book on becoming in Dutch is called Word Zelfmerk, Become a Brand. And we listed in that, and it's a method of how to set up your, determine what brand you can be, which social media you can use, and how to set it all up, which at that time was, quite a revolution, because we hadn't done it yet. And we sold a lot of those books. So I turned into an author, and built a business on that, with training and programs. And every book, a successful book that you publish represents about 30,000 euros in turnover per year. So every year is 30,000. And on top of that, you build other lines of business. So your business keeps on going. Well, that had a good run until COVID, and we were sitting around doing nothing. And my then business partner said, "Well, I really want to set up schools on the Scandinavian basis." So I helped her with that, and but I continued in let's say plain consultancy. We still had customers, and then ChatGPT hit the market, that was November of 22, I think. Yeah, it was November 22. Let's say December of 22, I picked it up because I'd been following AI all my career because out of interest. And I remember that I think the second week of December of 22, I got my account. I was really sitting at the edge of my seat because I was expecting quite a bit and because a lot of hype around it. And I almost slid off the seat in amazement of what ChatGPT could do at that time. And so I started experimenting with it and realizing, oh, this is going to have an impact on society. And at that time, I just met Shukove Katapsi, and she has a bachelor's in AI and a PhD in business in IT. So I was discussing it. I said, look, Shukove, you can do this and that and that. Next to what we do together now, she already had a fashion company, an e-commerce fashion company, everything online. And she started applying, let's say, ChatGPT for her marketing. And it saved her a design person and a content writing person and some other another person and a social media person. And so she said, well, that saved me costs immediately. And in the course of that year, her turnover tripled. So we have first-hand experience in how fast this can go and how fast your turnover can go up. So we decided to write a book, which is about to launch, and help people themselves. So the branding we did, the social media branding is now becoming AI branding, because that aspect of marketing is changing rapidly, and we're part of that. And we're also going to do a kind of app, or let's say an agent, for especially coaches, and especially coaches who have published something, with all their knowledge into the agent, and they can sell it to their customers for, let's say, 10 euros a month. And their customers can talk to them whenever they want. And that's something we want to launch at the beginning of next year. So we're planning ahead, taking into account the developments that are happening. I'm doing a lot of research every week and to predict what the next thing is going to be.
Now you have asked my next question. What is the plan for the future, Benno?
Well, as I see it, and what people are developing are, let's say, agents that connect business processes. Let's take a simple one we're working on. You're in ChatGPT. You say, hey, create an SEO post for me and a blog, but let's say a post and create an image for that, and post that on LinkedIn. And because right now you still have to copy, paste, so write the post in a matter of seconds, but then the handling of the post and the picture and placing it into LinkedIn takes still quite some time. That people hate that. So we're working on a mechanism to add a little command and say, okay, the post is ready. Place it for me in LinkedIn at that day and that specific time. And then it will do that. And same for Facebook and for Instagram. And that's one of the things we're working on. So this is a little process which normally requires people that you automate, and you link different systems together using that, which means it will speed up enormously. And the next thing is write an advert for this post. And now then it will write it and activate it automatically, give it access to your bank account to pay for the ad and all those things. And then once you've done that, you want the system to automate the efficiency of your advertisement. And if it comes to the conclusion, hey, it's not performing, then it will change it. And so it will become an automated process in marketing, and that will continue. And we're part of that, and we're following closely, and just one step behind the latest developments. So this is what I see happening in just marketing. But if you apply that to all other fields, the business process are going to speed up so much that entrepreneurs will have to think, what am I going to do with my personnel? And what am I going to do next? And we give workshops also to entrepreneurs. And what we tell them is, train your people first now, right now, make them more productive. Then your productivity goes up. Just using ChatGPT and the other tools, your productivity goes up, which means your business processes will change. You will need less people, but don't fire them. Use them to build a new business next to your business, because they're trained. They know how to work it. So your first business will double or triple in revenue, and you build a new one next to that. So let's say within 2 or 3 years, you will have 6 times the revenue you're doing now. And this is what I see happening, that it's going to speed up so much in the next, let's say, 5 years, that it will be dizzying. And everybody who's watching or listening, please pick it up, embrace it, and start becoming proficient in. Just the basic tools now, because right now it's simple. The tools are still relatively simple, but in 2-3 years, I see the future, a bit of the future.
Yes, Benno, I will share my screen now with you. Give me one minute, please. Almost done.
Yeah.
So here we have the first news. What can you tell about this problematics?
It's still building up in my side. This is Shukufe. She's done a course at MIT in the last 6 months on machine learning and large language models and all the, let's say, the deep stuff that's behind artificial intelligence at this day. Now, she has built a predictive engine, and she applied it to her own company. And what she did was, in the beginning of this year, she saw her turnover decrease, and which was very unexpected. But at the same time, she built this model and feeds in the data of the couple of years. And at first, she got rubbish, because you fill in your sales data and all the facts and the figures. And then she added in data about holidays and public holidays, and the machine correlated that to the turnover. And she still didn't get what she wanted. And then she applied it to, let's see what I need to stock or keep on stock. Which models, which clothes do I need to purchase as a purchase manager in order to be able to sell it. And then it came with amazing results, like the sizes of the clothes you need to stock, the colors per month, per, let's say, per week also, per, let's say, event. So for Easter, for spring, and etc. And she said, I asked her, well, is it working? And she said, eerily accurate. So she can predict in 3 months ahead, 3 to 6 months, which stuff she needs to have on stock, which clothes, and it will follow the prediction. Your sales will follow the prediction. And I said, well, will it work for other things? She said, you can apply it to anything as long as you have good data. So you need to do some data cleaning before you feed it in. And then it becomes a real predictive machine. So right now she's working on consumer prediction, consumer behavior prediction. So we're going to build this into a service for companies, for e-commerce companies. And yeah, it's really good. It's really amazing.
Benno, I would like to tell our audience that they can visit your blog. Your blog is great because it contains many interesting news about AI. And here you can see the blog. And I would like to stop sharing now.
Okay.
And I would like to invite you to the second volume of our talks, which will be in the future. You are very welcome to join me again in the future. Now it's time for your question. Have you got any question for me?
Are we still on air?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to know how many people are already using AI. If they can tell you that. Can you see that or not?
Not yet, no. I can ask the GPT. This will be a great task. How many people are using AI already? So yes, I will use my GPT, and I will write you this answer to the chat, and I will read it for you as well. So yeah. I'm putting into the chat, as for 2024, 1.5 billion people globally are using AI. Is it correct, or does GPT make mistakes?
Oh, GPT does make mistakes. So anything with figures, you have to research and correlate with other sources. And usually it's let's say 90% of the time it's correct, or almost correct, or good enough correct. But you always, before you publish figures like that, you have to check them, because up to now it's not really good with figures and dates. And because it's so driven to please you with an answer, that it will try and produce something. Well, 1.5 billion seems correct in the sense that they have an account, but I also ask people how many are using it and how many are using it daily. And then let's say an audience of 100 people, let's say half to 60% will say, yes, I've used it. And then I ask how many are using it daily, then it's about 10% of the audience.
I understand. There is one more question I would like to ask you. Before we started broadcasting, you mentioned one book, but I will show you that I cannot yet see it in this. Just give me 1 second. I will share my screen again very quickly, just briefly. And here you can you are offering a couple of books on your website for free. Is this book ROI? Is it included in this free, or is it coming up later?
It's going to be published, and it will cost 25 euros. And I put a link in your LinkedIn chat. I can also
Yes, I
put it
can see
here.
it now. I can see it. I can see it. Yes, yes.
It's a landing page where people can register if they're interested in the book. And,
Definitely, I will put this link under this video afterwards.
okay.
Benno, thank you very much for coming to this show with me. I was very happy and honored to have you. This is very interesting talk. And tell me, have you any final message for our audience? Takeaway?
Takeaways, embrace it, start using it, and be creative. Follow also other people. Of course, follow our website and blogs to get the latest and the greatest. And I was very pleased to be on your.
Me too. My name is Jiří Bosch. Our honored guest is, and now pronouncing Benno Pieters, right?
That's right.
It's correct.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming. And I would like to continue with you a little bit more. Can I ask you one big favor? Could you switch off your camera now for a moment, please? Is it possible?
Yeah. Let me see.
I just would like to try. I just would like to try something technical, because I must say that I had little bit sound was little bit worse, but not so bad. It's not so bad. I will send you the recording. However, can you tell me something now that so that I can see if I can hear you better without the camera?
Yeah, I can. But do we have any more questions, or do you want me to another story?
We can do it in our next broadcast. I would like to broadcast volume 2 with you.
Yes.
And this will be for free. You don't have to pay for that. This will be free of charge. It will be my my small gift for you, because I enjoyed a little bit a lot today, and I would be glad to cooperate with you in the future as well, because your stuff, your content and stuff is very interesting for me.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be pleased to oblige.
I would like to also invite you, and this is also for free. I would like to invite you to the mastermind, and you are doing masterminds yourself, right? What are the upcoming masterminds from your side, Benno?
As we speak, planning them. So I'll publish them on the website, and I'll let you know also.
I will let you know now when is mine coming. Just 1 second, please. And you can put it to your calendar, and I will send you the link to the LinkedIn message, and it will be on the September 17 at 10 o'clock a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. I'll put it in
I will write you official invitation to the LinkedIn. Yes, for this.
Yes. That's great.
What is your plan for this week? Have you any also hobbies in your life? Do you have time for hobbies, for free time activities?
My hobby right now is, and it's become an addiction, is AI art and AI videos. Just a new tool has been released called Kling AI, which generates an image into a small movie.
Yes.
And maybe you've heard of it or have seen it already. Right now, it's one of the best. It's Chinese, so we always think that the Chinese, no, they're not. They're quite on the edge of all AI things. And what I can do is, suppose I upload a picture of myself standing, and I upload a picture of myself sitting. So standing will be the beginning, and sitting will be the end result. Then it will generate a picture of me walking to the chair and sitting down. And it's very, very lifelike. And I'm experimenting with it. I had an image, an AI-generated image of a beautiful woman standing on a waterfall.
Yes.
And then after that, had an image of the same woman, but sitting down on a rock. And it introduces all the movements that are necessary and the splashing of the water, and it's really amazing. So that's momentarily my hobby, and very often it becomes 2 o'clock in the morning before I realize I need to go to bed. And so yeah, and at the same time I'm also doing using a tool called Suno, SUNO, and that you can generate music, all kinds of genres. You can use your own lyrics, or you can ask it to generate lyrics. And what it does, it produces 2 minutes of music. If your lyrics are short, then it will fit it. But if you have longer lyrics, it will also let you extend the 2 minutes. I have some examples of 3.5, 4-minute songs, and I'm going to integrate all those things and see if I can make marketing movies with images and music underneath it, and let's say a narrated part with a story on it. And right now, that's my hobby.
Benno, can you put down the links to our chat, to our Google Meet chat for those hobbies? Because I would like to integrate it into the video.
You want to have the links to those tools?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Let me write it
down. You can send me later to my LinkedIn account. I have sent you one also thing which I am now experimenting with. This is a cloning.
Yeah.
And what do you think? I have sent it to the chat. I will send it also to your chat on LinkedIn. What do you think about this tool? Do you think this is the future? It's a good future or not? What do you think?
Llama?
Yes?
Llama, they've compared Llama to Kling. And right now, at this moment, Kling is more realistic than Llama.
Yes.
But I'm sure Llama will improve also. So it's a race.
I see. Interesting. Thank you very much. I hereby would like to invite you very much to the second volume of our talks. I would be honored. I would try to choose, if you agree, I would try to choose another date with you within 1 month. Is it okay with you?
Yes, no, I'd love to do it.
So thank you very much.
I love this type of talks.
Thank you very much, Benno, and take good care of yourself and stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Yes, you too. Bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.